So I just want to update people on So Sad. I talked about this just about a few weeks ago, about 5 to 6 weeks ago. And we talked about it in November at the time too. Now, if you remember that video, I said So Sad, and So Sad's a voluntary charity. It relies on voluntary donations from members of the public to keep it open. It's a mental health to save our sons and daughters, pretty much as a suicide prevention charity for basically people to chat and to go in and have a chat if they're having problems. And it's a great charity. I've went to it myself many times when I was at school a few years ago when I was in a very tough spot. Didn't have to pay a penny. I gave obviously donations towards it at the time too, of course. But you didn't have to pay a penny. It was great service. You didn't have to wait days and weeks like you have to wait with the public health service. And it's been a great asset to the people of Cavan. And I'm speaking just behalf of the people of Cavan. And it is a sin, I say out to the councillors in Cavan and the TDs, disgrace if this happens that it does close altogether. At the moment, we're talking about a bit of it closing, but it looks like the whole lot of it's going to go sooner or later if something's not done soon. With Mary Butler, if he's those shouted, particularly the Fianna Fáil ones, there's Fianna Fáil councillors going around here, and you think they'd be shouting at Mary Butler from the rooftops to do something to approve this funding for So Sad emergency funding. Because let's be fair, and I think all the councillors and TDs in Cavan would know, they're not stupid, that they're doing more than any other charity for mental health. Only for So Sad in Cavan we'd be lost. We'd be looking at more people committing suicide. It's just a straight up fact because there's no help from CAMS. CAMS is in a shambles in Cavan. And it's all Mary Butler's fault because Mary Butler doesn't seem to give a shit. And let's just put it straight out. But anyway, so in a statement just a while ago, uh, the messaging service where people could message in 24 hours a day, that were closed now from Tuesday, the 4th of March. But they still have in-session calls and stuff like that. You can go into the office and stuff for the moment. And obviously phone calls, 24-hour hotline, but the messaging service is going to close. So that bit of the service is gone. So basically it's now run down the service, what I'm trying to say. And that's a very bad sign because the next thing we see, their phone line will probably go offline too because they don't have the funds to sustain it. They don't have the funds to keep it operational. It's the same with in-person meetings and stuff like that in the town. In Cavan there, I think they rent the building and they have to obviously pay electricity, and if they're renting the building they pay rent and it's only a charity. And then they have to pay for different stuff. It's a lot of money, especially for charity. I know myself being a part of the tiny towns and stuff like that. You rely on the public for donations. And what So Sad needs, and I've said it many times, I'm sure the majority of councils and stuff would say the same, they need consistent funding. In terms of people like myself and stuff that would give funding, take for example, we would go in and put €200 in, maybe twice a year or something like that, or say for example, go and buy, we put in the €50 note or something like that. They need consistent funding, every month. Like say for example, if there's a government scheme or government grant, the government would say, here's 5,000 every month, here's 5,000, here's 5,000. It's consistent funding along with the voluntary donations. But there's none of that. So back in November, it was said in the Department of Mental Health, pretty much Mary Butler's department, said they got no application of emergency fund. And obviously they're talking probably shit because let's be fair, it's the Irish government. They talk shit anyway. They don't seem to like charities. They don't like any charities or stuff that's doing good in society. They want to just destroy anything that does any good in society, unfortunately, they state. And we see CAMS, they throw money into CAMS, and CAMS is a mess. It's a total disgrace, to be totally honest. And it's not even really worth saving, to be totally honest. CAMS, the public health, mental health for children and teenagers, it is a joke. It is really, really a joke. You wait 6 months to be seen in CAMS. And a voluntary group can do better than the government's own agency that's funded by giving hundreds of millions of euro a year. It still doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. But I hope that Mary Butler puts a act together, because let's be fair, she shouldn't be there in the first place as a TD. She's no addition. There's many other things that go on about Mary Butler. Not personal issues, but things that she's done in the old constituency I don't agree with whatsoever. But at the end of the day, she has a job to do, and she's not doing her job. And the majority of councillors should be speaking the way that I'm speaking now. And the same with TDs. We should be saying the same thing, that they're doing atrocious work in Cavan, only for them. And I'm sure the majority of people can tell by the public reaction of it to this that they're doing atrocious work. The public wouldn't have a huge reaction to this over this. And there's money for everything else. And the fact of the matter is, the argument to be made, there's no money. That's what be said with Mary Butler. There's no money for it. But there's money for bicycle sheds, there's money for security huts, there's money for everything. But it is a sorry state of affairs that I have to sit here and talk about it. It should have been sorted in November. Now, we don't know. So Sad said they sent off a document for emergency funding from the government in November. Mary Butler's department have said they didn't get it, they didn't receive it. That's what they say, so they say. Because you honestly couldn't trust the government as far as you control them. Especially Mary Butler. Anything with Mary Butler, I don't like the woman, to be told, and she shouldn't be there in the first place. But it's not that. It's bigger than Mary Butler. It's bigger than Mary Butler. She's the one at the top of it. She's the one. She's the ball stops with her. What I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, it just shows how rotten the system is, because there's so many young people, in particular in Cavan, that will rely on that service, rely on it. And what happens if this closes down? Because my biggest fear at the moment is that it'll close down totally. It'll close down totally, because it's a very bad sign when you see this happening first. And then in a few months' time, we'd be saying it's totally gone. It's gone. The hotline, 24-hour hotline, is gone. The in-service meetings are gone. They can't afford to pay the rent to the offices. They're gone. Simple as that. And we'd be, and all the politicians be saying, oh, this is a sad disgrace and stuff like that. Now is the time to do something. It is really, really the time to do something. But hopefully something can be sorted, because it's a joke. Because too many people rely on it for it to go. And to be totally honest, you take Pay to House, and I just go around the car Pay to House, because the Darkness and Delight will be soon coming up. They don't get any money from Pay to House for Darkness and Delight. And I always said this, they should have been getting something from Pay to House. A few bob here and there for Pay to House for Darkness and Delight, because it's pretty much doing the same job as Pay to House. Pay to House is not doing too much in Cavan, but it's more so sad I see it. And I've said it many times, and I'm sure all the councils have heard me say it at this stage, because I feel so strongly about this. The same as many people in Cavan would, and especially because I was in with them, and I know how good they are and how kind they are, and especially because they're doing it out of their own time. That's as simple as that, and it's voluntary donation. There's no such thing as, huge, you have to pay thousands. There's some private councillors take Usap and Cavan that would charge thousands a year just for one session. Just because they can take advantage of the situation that we're in at the moment. And none of that was so sad. And it's a great agency, it really, really is, and it's worth saving. It's 100%, it's not even the question worth saving, but it's worth saving. And it's doing atrocious work, and I would nearly say we should close CAMS in Cavan and totally give that fund that will go to CAMS in Cavan and give it to So Sad. That's nearly what I would argue with Mary Butler if I got to meet Mary Butler at the moment. That's what I would argue. We employ the people in So Sad full time. They are the government. They're the people who look after the people of Cavan. And we employ more people for So Sad, because they have a totally better organisation. The structure and everything I see, from how I understand, it works. It does work. And it's doing great work. It is really, really doing great work. CAM's not so much in Cavan. It's totally rotten, to be told, and the system of it. The whole system in CAMS in general, not just in Cavan, the whole system from the higher ups up is rotten to the core. But at the end of the day, the person to blame is Mary Butler, and we need to know, Mary, did you get the application in November for emergency funding for So Sad? Because this was talked about in November, 4 months ago nearly at this stage, that So Sad could go under, could lose everything, basically, because they couldn't afford to keep the lights on. And it's not like a thing that just came out of the blue, and we didn't know, because I've been talking about it for the last 4 months. And again, the only person to blame if this does happen is Mary Butler. Simple as that. Because there's still no... I definitely do take So Sad said the documents off for emergency fund. I don't doubt that for a second. The government said they didn't get it. I presume they're just bullshitting, as they usually do, the government. So we need to know. We need to know for definite. We need proof to see from the government, because nobody just suggesting, oh, we didn't get it and stuff. We need proof. But anyway, please God it doesn't. And I hope it doesn't. But the people of Cavan, the only person to blame is Fianna Fáil and Mary Butler. And I would say to the Fianna Fáil TDs and councillors, you should be literally on to Mary Butler every day. You should be making her life a living hell in terms of ringing her up every day, demanding things, demanding money right now for So Sad. That's what they should be doing as the councillors. If they're any good, the councillors in Cavan or the TDs that we have in Dáil at the moment, if they're any good, they know how valuable this service is. Just look at the public reaction on Facebook, on Twitter, and you get your answer. And you'll get your answer in the next election if you allow this to happen too, to the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael councillors, and even any just councillor in Cavan. Because it's something that we can't let fail. And that's just a straight up answer. We can't let it fail. There's no other option. Let me know what you think, and please God it doesn't come to that, but thank you.